The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm sitting here in the George Bush International Airport in Houston waiting to go home. Or I shouldn't say home, waiting to go back to Vegas. So, just, catching up with some boxing talk. But let's talk about Gabe Rosado. Let's talk about Gabriel Rosado because he deserves so much praise, credit, and adoration for what took place yesterday. So he took on Melikuziev, Bek Bully, one of Uzbekistan's very own, decorated Uzbekistan amateur, one of those blue chip amateurs. A lot of people here on YouTube over the last year or so have been talking to me and telling me about how Melikuziev is the best prospect in boxing. So let's keep that same energy. He fought Gabe Rosado. Gabe Rosado was a fighter that was looked at going into the fight as a step down from what was supposed to be his initial step-up fight against Sergey Kovalev. If you guys remember, Melikuziev was scheduled to fight Kovalev. That fight didn't happen because Kovalev tested positive for having synthetic testosterone in his system. So that fight got scrapped. Fast forward some time, he got this fight with Rosado. Rosado was coming off of a tough, draw against, or was it a draw or a win? I don't remember. I can't remember right now, but he didn't get the win. It was supposed to be a win against Jacobs. Close fight. I think Jacobs got the win, if my memory serves me correct. It was a pretty forgettable fight, so forgive me. But he had a fight against Jacobs where I thought he won, and he did something in that fight that was a big indicator to me that he was improving as a fighter, which was he was able to fight a world-level guy, former world champion like Daniel Jacobs, and box a disciplined 12 rounds. And Rosado, I said after that fight, if you go back and you listen to what I was saying after that fight, I was saying that Rosado is improving. And, he's been fighting so much top competition, and he's been applying himself in the gym, and he's been willing to learn that he's having what I like to call the Freddie Pendleton effect. If you guys remember Freddie Pendleton back in the day, Freddie Pendleton was a fighter that had an upside down record. He had like 25 losses, but he wanted to become world champion. He was a guy that much like Rosado, much like Gabe Rosado, Pendleton had to fight a lot of top guys. He fought guys like Tyrone Trice and I think he fought Roger Mayweather and Pernell Whitaker. He fought crazy. He has a crazy resume, and he got better towards the back half of his career because he found himself in the ring as he was able to continue fighting these top guys, even though he was losing a lot of these fights. So it goes to show you that if you apply yourself correctly, losses don't really mean what you think they mean. If you're strong enough and you're willing to learn and keep getting better, you can improve. And I really think Gabe Rosado at this stage of his career is improving. I think at this stage of his career, as crazy as it is to say, as much as Gabe Rosado has bled and been beat up and been punished, I think right now Gabe Rosado is fighting at his absolute best because he showed us dimensions against Jacobs. He showed us yesterday when he fought Melikuziev. Melikuziev is a strong, sturdy pressure fighter, knows how to break his opponents down. And Rosado yesterday, as the underdog, he stopped the Melikuziev hype train before it even got going. Before the damn conductor even got in the train to start the train, the hype train got folded up like a blue steel chair, like The Rock, like Chris Jericho. Okay, so Gabe Rosado, he's improving. He is improving. That was a great straight right hand. That was a great overhand right that he knocked him out with yesterday. And unless barring anything too crazy, right now, when you consider the fight, him being the underdog, who Melikuziev was and what he was perceived to be, Rosado with everything he's been through, that has to be the knockout of the year. I mean, Rosado was in Rocky, or he was in Creed. He was in the movies, but he had a Rocky moment yesterday. Yesterday was Gabe Rosado's Rocky moment because Melikuziev, let's not throw him under the bus. Let's keep that same energy. He was supposed to be the next big thing in boxing as far as these Uzbekistan fighters. He is supposed to be the top dog of the Uzbekistan fighters that are making waves right now in boxing. With between Shakram Giashov, Mirja Akhmadaliev. He was looked at to be the best one out of all of them. And Rosado, a guy that, if you look at him the wrong way, he starts bleeding. He cuts. Rosado, he's been pounding that pavement. He's been trying to improve his skills for years, and he's been coming up short in a lot of these fights. He came up short against Jacobs when he deserved the win. But Yesterday, he had his moment in the sun. And what's next for Rosado? You know, what could possibly be next for him? You know, there's some good fights out there for him. I know right now the fight that he's being most heavily linked to is with Jaime Munguia. And Jaime Munguia, you know, he's still... I mean, I don't think Jaime Munguia is going to fight Demetrius Andrade. We know Golden Boy Promotions don't want that fight to happen because Demetrius Andrade would just absolutely dominate him. But Jaime Munguia versus Rosado, you know, you got the whole Mexico-Puerto Rico dynamic. Rosado's coming off a big win. People love watching him fight. You know, his career, because he's been in so many big fights and exciting fights with top opponents, his career, even with 13 losses, he's more relevant than a lot of guys who have belts who have no losses. But that goes to show you that losses aren't everything. If you're entertaining, if people like you, if you're well-spoken, you'll have a place in boxing. So I really think the Munguia fight is a fight that could come off for Rosado next. And to me, on my personal opinion, I think that fight's a pick'em fight. I think that fight is a true 50-50 pick'em fight because I think Rosado is improving. Fight by fight is improving. The last between the Jacobs fight, this fight, he showed improvements in comparison to earlier in his career. So when you factor those things, when you factor that Rosado has the heart, he's got the power, he's got the boxing skills, he's got the IQ, he's got a lot of positive attributes that could give Munguia problems. Munguia is not a great defensive fighter. Munguia is not someone that can fight going backwards. So there's a lot of things I believe Rosado can exploit, and that would be a great fight. If the Zone, if you're listening to Zone, you know, I think that'd be a fight that you guys should look at because it'd be very entertaining, and it's a fight that I think it's a pick-em fight. So make it happen because we know you're not going to make Munguia versus Boo Boo Andrade, so make this fight happen. You know, but yeah, Gabe Rosado, you know, just a true warrior of the sport. You know, a guy that's really carved out quite the career for himself, and it was great to see him have his moment in the sun yesterday because he deserved it, you know. And it goes to show you, man, no disrespect to the European fighters, Central Asian fighters, but you can't really give these guys their flowers, and you can't really say that these guys are, you know, these killers until they go and they beat some American, you know, they beat some name top-level American fighters. And yesterday for Melikuziev, it was really, aside from Clay Collard, who he fought like in his second fight, it was like the first guy that's been like at that level, at that elite level. Maybe Rosado isn't an elite fighter, but he's been in it with the elite fighters, and he's given them the good fights. And Melikuziev did not pass his test, so now we got to say, you know, is Melikuziev really what we thought he was? You know, I was never really as high on Melikuziev as others, but I thought he was a good prospect. And I think Melikuziev can still come back and come strong, and you know, as long as he don't get too discouraged and go to the gym and work hard, I think he can come back and be some of the things that people said he was. But Gabe Rosado, his moment in the sun, you know, great win. Let me know what you guys in the comments down below. What did you make of Gabe Rosado's win against Melikuziev, and who do you want to see him fight next? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.